So anyway, like, after I tallied up my notes, there were two significant images that I hadn't dealt with. One that popped up as a companion image to the king archetype, and one that I had absolutely no idea what it was. And that's the one I decided to deal with, because that's the one that spoke strongest to me. I'm going to read it. Enter.
No, I'm sorry.
Expand the enter key. Thank you. All right. So this is what happens when I'm given, like, full range of, like, 48 hours to put together a presentation. That image that had appeared to me on March 1st, and that was then something that I drew in my tablet, and then did a series where I took a blue background, black and white, and used those three elements, constructing with black the image, and then going over it with white, and then taking a save, and then erasing out whatever needed to move, putting more white on it, putting more black on it, taking another save, and then repeating for about an hour. And the resulting animation was about 30 seconds. I paired it with a musical piece that I found completely at random, because the software I was using for editing is designed for children. It is associated with a very large library of silly shit. So, and then I worked with it, and then I proceeded to spend, I don't know, until like sunrise editing it, and then taking what I did and reviewing it immediately after I was fired from my job. It was a flash of two images. One being the impression of like a forest with an opening with a tree in the middle, and then there was like kind of a blue sky, and there was a flash of lightning that happened twice, and that was the whole thing.
Were we supposed to be paying attention to you, or?
Yes, no.
Yes. You want to pull the screen down?
No, I arranged it like this for a reason. That's just for continuity, because I want the board to be available. I think it's interesting to use a projector. Anyway, this is my general warning whenever I produce a video, because I've had friends who were seizure prone. I feel like including something like this is fairly important. This is included simply to kind of get you into the dream headspace. And also because I have a secure fetish around Big Brother, so having the security guards watching the process seems significant. And this is pulled from a couple of YouTube videos that have the audio that is video. This is all accomplished on a cell phone. I have no computer. Yes, Stevie's my name. So one of the things I've noticed watching this is that this area here, there's kind of an apple that goes on. like Charles Foster Kane sort of image, just because that would have been really ridiculously fun. But yeah, that didn't happen. Like, just the bumper in the air. So yeah, that's my dream.
So you just made that?
Yeah, last night. Yeah, that's what happens when I have 48 hours of peace. Like,
Hours of peace.
yeah, I'm really curious what would happen if I actually had something resembling free time.
Will you explain your dream again?
I was fired from my job the night before, and
When was this?
this was March 1st. 2014.
I just feel like you're explaining like why you did this dream or made this video, but I don't really understand what the dream was or like.
The dream was
You.
about 5 seconds. It was 2 flashes of lightning, and then the image of the tree is the lightning flash at the beginning of the dream. And that was just sort of like how I came into and went out of it. Like, it just seemed like there was a flash, and then I saw this black impression of like a tree in a clearing in a forest, and then a flash on the way out. So that's why I structured it so that it was like the same going in and coming out. So a lot of, it was very much like not super directed process as far as the actual animation went. Like, I really just took that raw image and sort of played with it. Like, there were no clouds in the original. I just felt like that was an element that I wanted to include because I had been like all about Magritte and like that sort of blue that he uses in his skies was a very close approximation of what I was dreaming. So I felt like that was a good departure point.
And that bulb, it almost looked like a garlic.
Yeah, that's the tree in the middle.
That's the tree.
That's what manifests as the tree for me.
Did it seem like a garlic to you?
When I looked at it later, it did remind me more of like an onion, which is like I just started growing plants and like attempting to garden. And the first plant that I was able to get to survive was an onion that stayed in my fridge too long and started to root, so I threw it in a planter.
So did you look into the lightning flash, any amplification? There's something that comes to mind that's very interesting.
No, I didn't really play so much with the flash. I was looking more at the image as a complete thing. I saw the flash as more of like the moment of entry and exit into whatever was trying to express itself. So I saw that more as an implication of transition than anything else.
Like a threshold?
Yeah, like a threshold.
So you've heard of the tree of life?
Yeah.
In the Kabbalah?
Yeah.
And the way in which the spirit becomes incarnated in matter is through a lightning flash along the various sephiroth of the tree of life in forms of, it's called the lightning flash.
Oh.
The way in which spirit is incarnated in matter, and then there is a snake that wraps itself around and hits various sephiroth in a very strange kind of path, very serpentine path, as the way in which we evolve from being entrapped in matter back to spirit. And it's a very, whenever there's a lightning flash, like you described, in a dream, it you have to ask yourself, what is trying to be incarnated in me, in my physical space, from the great mystery.
Yeah.
Somebody would come out of the lightning bolt or something. There's fertility in there too, right?
Exactly. Yes, and then we can go into the runic Saveda rune and a whole bunch of different things. But it's really quite an interesting application to take the flash itself and look at it.
Yeah, I can get into the runic on that. been a fan of Americano because it resembles my last name for as long as I've been aware.
Right. So look at Sueyo.
Yeah.
That looks like a flag, yeah.
Yeah, Brian. I didn't think to look at it that way, but you're absolutely right. It just felt like it was all about the tree with this drawing process. It felt like that was very much the
Maybe
signature.
look at the tree again, is there a way to like fast forward? Because to me, the tree kind of looks like a vagina.
Yes. Art has been described as very vaginal. And like, here's the leg, like, not perfectly shaven. Like, watch when we get back to the end of the cycle, because it does, like, very much have that human sort of representation going on.
Like a vagina and a uterus.
In the uterus, very good.
And in here, there's actually a character. This is like a... And as we like back out of the apex here, like the face becomes evident a couple more ways in a few of the drawings, and becomes more of a like horn thing at the end.
So these are all drawings, like you said you did this in an hour?
Yeah.
You said it's
Yeah.
one after another?
Yeah. Draw, move, save, draw, move, save.
Yeah.
So that is like, I know the tree is a generally recognized representation of the self, and at the time, I had just been fired from my job at the multimedia department because I didn't seem happy. You know, manic depressive seems like he's not cooperative around being bullied. Like, I spoke up for myself, and then the next day, less than 24 hours later, after presenting to my boss the idea that I felt bullied by one of the female staff members on the Naropa multimedia team, I was fired for not being happy.
Somebody complained about you, did you say?
No, I complained about being bullied to my boss, and her response was to fire me for not seeming happy enough. At least that's the only explanation that was given to me was the phrase, "You don't seem happy."
I remember like Brave New World, isn't that where they think of the sun up, the drawing them, and everyone has to be happy?
Nice. I'll want to hear about that.
What happens to you happens in quite a lot of cases, actually.
Well, I figured male on female bullying is like something that's just beginning to be recognized anyway, so I wasn't expecting a whole lot of support, but this is fucking Naropa. I mean, what the fuck? Like,
More of an idea that you deserve that the building get fired.
yeah, rather than like reprimand a staff member and maybe give them like 2 hours of fucking sensitivity training. So yeah, that's where I was. That was my emotional state as I went to sleep the night before the dream. And just that whole sense of loss around losing a job and not being able to like, you know, live at the same level of comfort because suddenly I have no source of income and, you know, everything that goes along with that, the end of the semester thing around like finding a place to live. Like there's a lot of anxiety that was going on, which is why this seemed like the most significant image I could work with, because it really didn't immediately speak to my situation directly, but it presented in a very powerful and clear image that was really succinct, much like that dream that we interpreted at the beginning of class with the red room. So, I ran to him.
So what do you all make of what's happening right now with the way he's eliminated? How does it make you feel?
I kind of like it, yeah. Just with the mysteriousness